Hey everyone, effectsfreak here. Firstly, I just want to point out that this is being filmed on a webcam. Why is it being filmed on a webcam? Because I left all of my other cameras at home when I came to move down to college. So we're stuck with this for a little while. Please excuse the audio quality. I know it sounds like crap, but there's nothing I can do about it. First order of business. In my last video, I gave everyone the option between two tutorials. One being the apple slicing effect and the other being the matrix jumping effect. Between the comments and messages I've been getting lately, more people seem to want the matrix flying effect, so that's the one we're going to do. But that does not mean that I can't give you a brief summary of how I did the apple slice. Basically, in this shot, the first thing we had to think about was slow motion. Now, most consumer cameras don't shoot above 30 frames per second. If you want a smooth slow-mo effect, you're going to need a camera that films at least 60 frames per second. Now, these tend to be on the more expensive cameras, so if you don't have the money for that kind of camera, or if you just don't feel like getting one, then an easy way to replicate this effect is just to have your actors move very slowly. The next thing I had to think about was the apple. Now, to save myself some time in post, I originally tried to film the apple in front of a green screen, moving in camera. That didn't really work out too well, so what I ended up having to do is film the apple center screen, just rotating without moving at all. And then I cut the apple in half, filmed the top half spinning, and then filmed the bottom half spinning. I imported all of that into After Effects and then lined the two halves up with the full apple. I partnered everything together so I was able to move the apple digitally back and forth and have everything stay together. Now, the difficult part was trying to blend all the pieces together because they rotated at different speeds, so I ended up having to time remap every single layer of the apple so that it would move at the same rate. After doing that, and then putting it in shot, I was able to animate all three pieces so that the apple would come from the back center screen. When it got cut in half, it would fade out into the two halves that would then split apart. It sounds more complicated than it is, it just takes a little bit of work. After that, I had to rotoscope out the tip of the sword that would go through. I then animated particles from Trapcode's plugin Particular to look like little pieces of apple flying out of the center. After doing all this, I then used a blur to hide any mistakes I made, and yeah, there were quite a few mistakes in this shot, but if you didn't see it, then I did a good job. Well, that's basically it as far as this effect goes. As I said, I'm not making a full tutorial because most people chose the flying effect, which I will get to as soon as I ship down my microphone. I don't know when that's going to be quite yet. It's probably going to be a few weeks, so you're just going to have to wait. In the meantime, I hope what I made has helped you in some way, and I will try and upload a video at least once a month. I mean, college is going to have me very busy. Orientation starts next week. It's scaring the shit out of me, but we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, farewell.